Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
How's it going, Keith?
Oh, shit. I've got migraine still.
Oh man, what a drag. So you had to go through both those shows today having a migraine?
Yes.
Man,
I
that
had it
sucks.
today and yesterday.
Yeah, I
Day before, I think.
the show you did yesterday, I saw the recorded version of it today, or
Yeah.
parts of it. I recorded part of it today. That was where the
Yeah.
lady was in the hospital.
I went to the hospital yesterday, yeah.
Actually, several of the stories were people in hospitals because it's the helping them with their pain and everything, right?
Well, I went there because it was the annual general meeting of the hospital.
Okay, so are regular citizens just allowed to encouraged to go to this?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I go there because they have a nice buffet. So instead, because I normally only eat once a day and baked beans. But they do a nice buffet, so I do my bit to go and help them eat it.
That's pretty
Why
cool.
not?
Yeah, I was at the store today and I went ahead and got some beans. I was thinking of you, and so I went ahead and got some beans.
Yeah. They're good beans. I think they're a superfood because one can of beans a day, and it really keeps me going. I think they've got something special in them.
I think so too. You know, they say there's this old poem we got over here. I don't know if y'all have it over there. It's called "Beans, Beans, the Magical Fruit. The more you eat
Yeah,
'em, the more you toot."
yeah. Well, I get the beans I buy. I get really cheap ones, and I reckon they can't afford to put the chemicals in them that poison you. So I think they're pretty safe.
That's a good idea. I never thought about that.
hmm So I've moved my setup because I used to have my laptop which is now here used to be here underneath the camera, but I've moved the camera used to be up there, but I've moved the camera down and I've moved the laptop over there. So that means I can, because I noticed when I was watching that first video, I wasn't looking at the camera because the camera was up there and I was looking down here at the laptop. So my eyes were all over the place and I wasn't engaging with the audience like I'm doing with you now. I'm looking at you now, aren't I?
Yeah, it's much better. Yeah, you're looking right at me, and it's a lot more compelling that way.
Yeah. Although if I turn to the laptop, which is over there, to look at your face like I'm doing now, it looks like I'm not engaging with you because I'm just
Right.
not
It
in.
looks like you.
You know?
Yeah, you're
Although I'm actually looking in your face, it doesn't look like I'm engaging with you now,
you're
does it?
absolutely right. Now,
Not
let me
the
ask you:
same.
does it look like I'm looking at you?
It does. Yeah. You're looking
Well, but
straight at
also
me.
I have the added little illusion of my sunglasses here.
Yeah.
You
Why
know,
do you always wear sunglasses?
do what? Oh, but
Why
well,
do
they're
you always wear
prescription. They're
sunglasses?
prescription.
They are, okay.
Yeah. And I have other glasses. I actually misplaced my other ones, but the reason that I wear these glasses all the time is to downplay my age. Let's put it like that.
Yeah. I'm going to move my camera over now
Okay.
because I can't see it
Okay.
and it's a bit disconcerting.
One thing I've noticed as I've started doing some of my latest videos where I'm just by myself and I write it out first. In other words, I'm going by a script.
Yeah.
That's one thing I like about having this camera right here on the laptop is I'm reading the script right off the laptop is my teleprompter, and
Yeah.
so it's less obvious that I'm reading from a script.
Yeah. Are you actually using a proper teleprompter on the screen or have you got notes written on paper?
Am I using a what?
Are you using a teleprompter on the script? Sorry,
No,
are you?
no. I mean, no. I just have like a Word document. I'm just
Yeah.
reading a PDF.
All right.
Yeah.
Download a teleprompter, and that's better than a PDF because you can have it scrolling across the screen then, because you can download a free teleprompter.
Well, I think I need one because the thing is, I want to. If I make the letters as big as I want them to on the PDF, I cover up the screen that shows me. Yeah. And not that I really so much need to look at that, but that's why I have a mirror set up right here, just only to check if my glasses are straight.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sunglasses are bad for your eyes.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they'll never tell you that, the opticians, because they like to sell glasses.
Oh yeah, sure, you bet.
But I didn't realize that. I used to wear sunglasses, but I stopped. Well, I didn't stop them because I thought they were bad for me. I actually broke them. But more recently, I've been learning that sunglasses are not good for your eyes. The sunlight is good for your eyes.
Yeah, and sunscreen is not good for your skin.
That's right. Yeah, because it's full of chemicals that poison you.
Yeah, and everything that we're shown in this world that is supposed to be good for us, most of it's bad for us.
And I was reading earlier on the bases where you've just posted that they're off-gassing all the nuclear stations straight into the atmosphere at night. So we're all being radiated.
Yeah, that's very unusual, and I hear that, but just even all the atomic weaponry and testing, and really the most fascinating thing I've heard is Fukushima, the Daiichi company that runs Fukushima and was in charge of the worst debacle, of poisoning or whatever in world history, is now negotiating with the United States government for a $70 billion contract to build nuclear reactors all over the United States. That's really smart, isn't it?
Yes.
They've got such a good track record.
Well, that's because they want to kill us all.
I don't necessarily. I've heard of the Agenda 21 and everything like that, and I'm not necessarily down with that. I mean, I think that the idea is supposed to be out there, and I think it may be another fear mongering type thing. However, with all of these poisoning and stuff like that, I don't think they're necessarily trying to kill us. I think that they're just trying to limit the length of our lives.
Yeah.
That's killing people, I guess you'd say, but
they're certainly not doing anything good for us.
No, they're not. And one people that don't believe in conspiracies and stuff like this is very fascinating, because there's one thing that's hard to argue with, and that's chemtrails. It's hard to argue that they don't exist. Those days are pretty much over, and no one's demanding that the politicians do something about chemtrails. Everyone just shut up about it.
That's because we're all asleep. We're all.
I think fear, the sleep that we're in, fear has a lot to do with it, don't you?
We all know that they are using weapons against us, and they're building up a stockpile of weapons, and yet we, the workers, like dummies, we still go into the weapons factories and keep building them. Don't we? Because they pay us wages and we love to buy our trinkets. And I say we, I don't buy trinkets. I'm not interested in toys. I haven't got any. I don't even have a mobile phone. But the people love their trinkets. They love, if it sparkles, they'll have it.
Oh yeah.
And they don't care if they have to build weapons that the government will shoot us with, as long as it's the same back in the day when the American people invaded America and they gave trinkets to the Indians, and the Indians accepted them, and they had the land stolen from them, didn't they?
Oh yeah, trading valuable corn and food and all types of stuff for just little baubles and little pieces of glass beads and stuff like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Fascinating.
And it's always the way. The sensible thing to do would be for all the people to say, no, I'm not going to work. And if we all did that, the government would just show their colours, they'd get the guns out, and they'd march us into the factories at gunpoint, just like the Nazis did.
No, they don't. There's not enough personnel. That when the Nazis did that, they gradually built up the fear, and then they also had they enlisted a bunch of young men and stuff like that in the army. There's not enough soldiers to do that. That's why they have to use all these psyops, and that may be a reason that will go towards your argument that they are trying to eliminate a bunch of people because there's just too many people to control.
Yeah, but there are too many people. That's why they've got chemical and biological weapons, because that will control a lot of people. They'll just say, look, you obey, or we're just going to throw this chemical or biological weapon at you, and we're protected. We're all inoculated. It won't affect us. We're safe. But you're not. You're out there in the open. We've got our bunkers. We don't care. We'll just let it go. And when you're all dead, we'll come out. Mop up.
Yes, I'm aware of all these arguments, and once again, I refute that as well, because let me tell you, the so-called elite, they've got more to lose than anybody else. They're staying in 5-star hotels, they're going around bossing everybody around. You think they want to go live underground in a goddamn under the earth, and maybe only get a shower every once in a week? They don't want that shit. That's why I think a lot of this is just all fear tactics and everything to keep the people in line, but also to harvest the fear. You see, that's what I think is going on, that there's entities that are feeding off of our fear and consternation. And
the technology is, and I have no doubt about this at all, they have technology that is 10,000 years ahead of anything they're letting us know. As for all I know, they don't even need Earth. They could be on another planet, and they could be there like that, just spirit themselves away. So they might be just coming back to Earth just to hold, our politicians, they may not even live here. They could be coming back to Earth just to hold Parliament, for all I know.
Yeah, so there's lots of, it's hard to understand exactly what this reality exactly is. However, I have gone and personally investigated the so-called Paracas people, the elongated skulls, and wherein a lot of these entities, say fairies or maybe even aliens and stuff, there's a problem or not knowing whether they're always in corporeal form, whether they're physically hard or not. But I've seen the Paracas Skulls, and I think that they were people from the time physical, from the time they woke up in the morning till late at night. And they are not human. They're not human.
Right.
No, they're not. The morphology of their skull is different. You and I have 2 occipital plates in the back of our head. They just have 1. They have a much more robust jawbone. Their eye sockets are much more round. Ours are kind of like almond shaped, and ours are. If you look at a skull, it really almost looks like 2 triangles where the eyes are. Yeah. Theirs are round, much bigger, and much more shallow.
Yes.
So there's some stark differences. Now, Dr. Edward Spencer and Karen Hudas have, they're going along the ideas that this is the Homo capensis, that is some race of beings that is here amongst us. And once we look at these stories, mankind eradicated these beings everywhere in the earth for centuries. But the idea that Dr. Hudas is putting forward is that these beings somehow control the world banks, and they're somehow just right in here with us, controlling our leaders. And I think if there's any truth to that at all, then you can see who would benefit from a threat come from outer space. Some little green men coming from outer space.
Yeah.
Just the whole alien narrative that I went along with so far, I'm having some serious doubts about it. But yes, I do believe that there are some gray type beings that have these spacecrafts. The only question in my mind is I'm starting to actually question what space actually is. We see these Egyptian pharaohs were lot into traveling to all these other constellations and everything. But they didn't do it while they were alive. They did it while they were dead. And William Henry, who does a lot of work on the blue avians and a lot of symbology and stuff like that, and all these ideas of UFOs, he is postulating the idea that these UFOs are not a nuts and bolts type deal, but they're actually a light craft. You know, somehow made out of light or soul or spirit energy. I don't know.
Yeah. It's hard to know, isn't it?
I know it because there's so many narratives. Everyone kind of has to choose the narrative they're going to go along with. You know, and a lot of people who think that they're rejecting religion have really embraced science and not realizing that that's just the new religion. Science and money, you know, those are the two. They have their own priest class. They have their own philosophies. In a way, they have their own saviors and stuff like that. And so it's hard to tell what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll have to start reading up on my what do they call it? Remote viewing stuff that I've got in my computer, and see if I can start remote viewing. Then I can go off planet and have a look at the globe and see if there really is a globe.
You know, that's a very good idea, and I think there's really is something to this remote viewing.
And then maybe I'll go up to Mars and see what's going on there.
Is Miles an expert on remote viewing?
Sorry?
Did you say Miles?
No, not Miles, Mars.
Oh, Mars, yeah. You know, it's just hard to know what's going on with that. And, you know, there's just one narrative that says that these, you know, aliens control the solar system and, in fact, created the solar system minus the Earth, the Sun, and the Moon. And, yes, you know, there's an idea that the true solar system that we're in is really the Earth, the Sun, and the Moon, and that everything else is another false system or whatever that has our system entrapped within it. Yes. And I for some reason that resonates with me.
Yeah. Just gonna have to move the camera here because my girlfriend Jojo's trying to contact me.
Then you have the idea of the you know, inner Earth and all this stuff, Shambhala, you know. Who knows? Yeah. Were you able to look over those? Oh, you getting a message?
No, it's all right. You can carry on talking. The notes you sent me, I did read it. Yes, I did. That was a few days ago now.
What that document I sent you?
Yes, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Well, actually, I think I sent you two documents. I can't right now remember what the other one is, but I think they were probably related. But the thing is, I've got 7 topics that we've narrowed it down to. That and of course a lot of these kind of interrelate or, you know, go into one another. But these I have to each of these 7 topics I have to write a blog about it and make a video about it, and then the team, the part of the team that's in the Philippines, they are going to take the blogs and then turn them into my special reports. And these are these real slick digital books that are only going to be 10 to 12 pages long, mostly pictures. You know, about 500 to 1,000 words, and these are going to be the lead magnets and the compelling offers that are going to entice people to give us their emails, which is basically a subscription, so that we can put them in our continuity funnels. And so right now I have 0 subscribers, but my helper, the guy Rick, who's worked for me for years, he's got a glow-in-the-dark type deal with these stones and stuff. I've about flipped my wig. He's got 1,000 subscribers. And he hasn't even tried to get any subscribers. He's got their emails and everything. So I found that to be fascinating. But I think it's because he's in such a niche industry having to do with this glow-in-the-dark stuff that the people are trying, there's enough people interested in it, they're trying to learn about it or something. I don't know what the deal is.
Oh, I wish I could help my girlfriend in the Philippines. She needs a CT scan, but I haven't got any money.
I understand.
He's gone blind in one eye because of the bang on the head, and we don't know why that's happening.
That is tragic. You know, I caught that correspondence. You were talking about, the other day I was thinking about this, that you were talking about the girl, your girlfriend in the Philippines and the challenges she's going through right now. And then at the same time I was having that meeting and found out that the team that's going to be working on my next phase of this deal is from the Philippines. Isn't it interesting how life works out like that? You have these correspondences. Because it's not every day that I hear something about the Philippines.
They're good people in the Philippines, and it makes me really angry. I help her, but if I say that to anybody, immediately people say, you're being scammed. They never even ask me her name. They don't ask me, what do I know about her?
Well, I don't know if people in England or the UK are more cynical. I would not be surprised if they are, based on how much y'all are being monitored and taxed and stuff like that. But, there's cynicism all throughout the world. And, people will fucking always, go with the negative comment and stuff like this. Most people.
There are people in the Philippines who are being scammed by people in England and America and everywhere else. The women in the Philippines, they meet people over here and they get turned into slaves. Sex slaves.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean... America's only waking up to the fact that we've got sex slaves right here amongst us. A lot of times they are Asian girls.
Yes.
And, Houston's particularly known for this. You can go to these brothels in Houston and, even here in Austin, it's different situations, different strokes for different folks. But, and I've never been with an Asian prostitute, but if I was, I would strongly suspect that she was somehow maybe either coerced or being held against their will. Now there is the other side to it where they are actually bringing in money to help their family and stuff back home.
Yes, well, there's a lot of that goes on too. But there's a lot of women go to Filipino women go to the Arab states, and that is really dangerous. Because
they'll just straight hijack you right there. You'll never be seen again.
That's right.
And they'll shoot you up with heroin, just like in that movie with Liam Neeson. Taken.
Yeah.
Have you seen that movie?
I haven't seen it. No.
Man, I tell you what, that every man who has a daughter ought to sit her down and make her watch that movie. Yes. There's just some ditzy American girls that go on this la trip to France, and they get kidnapped.
I may have seen it, actually, thinking about it. I think I might have seen that one, yes.
It's very realistic, in my opinion.
Yeah, but where's my chance to be grabbed by some rich woman and turned into a slave then?
Where's your chance to do what?
To be found by some rich woman and turned into a sex slave.
Well, let me tell you, it may or may not be all it's cracked up to be, because I wasn't necessarily hoping for that. But, Keith, I think that's pretty much my situation at the moment.
No?
Yeah, I mean, she's already threatening to tie me up and stuff.
Yeah.